Hi there, welcome to the video. Welcome if you're currently here in the live premiere. Today we're looking at the latest news in general on the YouTube platform regarding the Shack Lady's latest and supposedly last ever post on YouTube. You may ask, why is that? Well, supposedly Shack Lady is quitting YouTube forever, thus meaning no more videos, live streams, or community posts by her in the future. But why would it come to that conclusion? Well, we'll look at the post today, see what it's all about, see if there's a message, an understanding, any call outs, etc., right? Bob Farrell also replied back in some way. I don't know if it was directly to the Shack Lady or more so the video that I covered that was looking into it previously. I mean, considering that Bob Farrell says he doesn't really associate with anyone and he doesn't really see the need to be tagged or mentioned in anything, yeah, oh, Bob Farrell ends up watching one of my videos recently or tries catching up on it, switching and changing, well, that's humans for you. But we're just going to have a casual look at it today in general. As well, I actually want to take a look at a very idiotic response from a spasticness human out there. We'll be looking at that later on, so make sure to stick around. I think it's absolutely hilarious, some of the comments by them. What was it, giving me advice or something? Yeah, they need to look in the mirror themselves. But we'll be taking a look at that afterwards, range of different stuff. We don't need to look at the comments of the last video because there wasn't really many comments there, right? I think there was probably, in a sense, more people watching last night than the night before, which was more focused on a deeper, more important part on a case. But then again, I think because last night with it mentioning Dylan Rounds, people are still interested in that, I guess. I understand that maybe if you don't cover Dylan Rounds for a certain length of time, brings back that hunger, you get what I'm saying? And I guess we can acknowledge that right now, just to allow people to join on in. Of course, you can share your thoughts, opinions and reactions in the chat box on the right hand side of the screen. In addition, shout out to Badger Life for their whip super chat last night in the dark, very good of them, as well as Cleo the Playful Witch this morning, that's all good. And anyone else in between, if there have been super chats here and there. Okay, I try and keep track of them all, right? But check my video out last night if you want. Links down below and some additional links elsewhere. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. That's a very good job, isn't it? Well, I think the hunger, the hunger within humans, you think about it. It happened with the Kenny Veach case, right? You cover it for as long as you can, do what needs to be done, then you take a step back. Because take in mind, whilst covering these cases, some people out there will say, you need to stop, you need to move on to something else, you need to do this, you need to do that. But if I've got stuff to cover, that's what I'm gonna do, right? But it's more of in the future when you do move on to something else because it's the right time to. Those in the past that were saying, oh, get away from this case, are now begging for you to come back. I find that kind of pathetic, to be honest, but it is a bit typical when it comes to humans, right? So in terms of the hunger level when it comes to the Dylan Rounds case, it's actually been better because I've not really come across that many people, if not any at all, that have said, you need to move on, you need to stop covering this case. I've never been threatened in that sense directly. I've never been told officially to stop, so it's been okay. And of course, the people that have remained present for quite some time now, they've done well sticking around too, because, maybe sometimes it can get a bit boring hearing the same old story, but the same old story has to be told at times to understand the bigger picture when you're incorporating newer research, right? But I think that maybe the hunger in the Dylan Rounds case will grow and increase at times, prolonged periods of silence from all angles, right? Maybe there's the odd video I can look at regarding Dylan Rounds and give my thoughts there, but at this moment in time, I've focused on that other missing person case, which I've heard about recently. As I said, there's only so much that can be done there too. But there's many other videos in the background, not that they're successful or or not, but you know, there's videos, there will be videos to post here and there, right? And that's pretty much it. It's under control. Just wanted to do this video, bit of a change of pace, change of theme, change of topic, some relation to the Dylan Rounds case because these characters originate from it. So why not, right? You can react to it as we go along. Was there any little comments I needed to highlight from last night? One viewer, what's it called? Spooky something. Shout out to them, long-time viewer from the Kenny Veach days, was acknowledging in a comment last night saying it's good for Warlight Ref to cover and look back at these comments of previous videos to acknowledge people's points. That's good to hear. It's good that people acknowledge that. They like the style of this new edition. It has been a newish edition, including comments from previous videos. Sometimes I find it easier to respond to than typing out because sometimes I don't always know what to say at that time. So when I quote it from now on, it's on the spot, a bit more relevant, and it links to the video as well. So it's got a nice flow there. Any other comments? Tom Evans was talking about how, you know, do the family know more? You know, what's going on with this half-hearted effort when searching for Dylan? I mean, could I come to that judgment that the family have done a half-hearted attempt at searching for Dylan? I won't come to that conclusion because I've not been there physically to see how much they've actually done, right? I do believe that in the early days, it was probably more hands-on, of course, more searches taking place, more effort, time, focus put into it. But I think what you got to acknowledge is the longer, you know, the case goes on for, the harder and more wearing it becomes. Maybe the more distance covered and ticked off the list, the less options you may have to know what to do next, and the resources do run out or get strained with time because they may only be used and are usable up to a certain period. So that's how searches can slow down there. And maybe just in general, like if there's life, background, responsibilities going on back there, you can't just put everything on pause until you find Dylan Round. You still got to get on with other stuff, right? Maybe it varies for different people out there, but I'd say, I guess what you could argue is, and it's more so the end part, once it's been solved, once Dylan Rounds has been found, wherever, whenever, if it is within a place of how could you possibly miss that spot, then you could put the argument across and say maybe they didn't try hard enough, they didn't search hard enough. But if it turns out to be in a completely different area where Dylan's at, more obscure, more hidden, then it's like finding a needle in a haystack, and it would probably be more understandable as to why it's gone on for so long. Because at the end of the day, just to acknowledge, right, even if Brenner slipped up, even if Brenner had the incriminating evidence upon him, he didn't do a good enough job there, he got caught in the end, he got in trouble in the end, etc., etc., and yet he did a very good job, supposedly. Him, somebody else, or with somebody else, did a very good job of concealing Dylan's body, right, because it's still not been found. That's the only success in their mindset, what they've managed to accomplish. As for everything else, it fell through because they were retrieved, incriminated upon him. Didn't go too well there. But I just wanted to share my rough thoughts regarding that point and some of the comments from last night. Is there any other comments that need to be addressed from last night? Well, if that was the case, these would be used. Put them to the side. But I think one thing to acknowledge, because I can predict stuff before it's happened. I've actually predicted things maybe several days ago that there was going to be conspiracies made about me, and that ended up coming true. So once again, predicting things left, right and centre. But in a situation like this, it's very understandable as to why humans out there, almost like a Colosseum type structure, the audience present will be engrossed within it because it doesn't impact them or have any linkage to them for a change, because most humans have been caught up in their own mess. Quite a few humans out there have been caught up in their own downfall, their own drama, their own mugshots, their own whatever else going on in the background. But when it finally flips onto somebody else, that's when the piranhas gather. But it's all understandable because that's just how humans behave and work. But unfortunately, I'm not really a human, so it don't quite follow the same flow there. Oops. But maybe as class opens and people are sat behind their tables and desk, whatever it may be, you want an A star, well, feel free to learn a thing or two from the behaviour forwards, okay? That whatever happens, happens, and the spasticity here and there, well, you just look and think, what are you on about? What? Yeah, just what I thought. Anyway, that's it. Very simple, but sometimes humans cannot understand the most simplest of things within this world. One of those things. Right, so let's focus in on the shack lady for this part, okay? See what her last post was on YouTube, what it's all about. And then we can look into Bob Farrell's response. Well, here we are. Here's the post. Community tab. Shack lady posted 1 day ago. Has been edited ever since. Let's just see what it's all about. So Shack lady says, first and foremost, I pray for those that are misguided and misunderstood at times. I pray for the ones that feel compelled to hurt another with malicious intent via third party. I pray that YouTube becomes a safer and peaceful place. I pray for those that seem they are so important to destroy people's lives, all for a laugh. I pray that you get the help and seek God with your redemption. I am grateful to have experienced on YouTube and appreciate all those that have been kind. So many things have happened and have gotten out of control. I've never had any malicious intent of hurting anyone, and if you feel I have, I'm sorry for that. I hope you have a room for forgiveness in your heart. My heart only truly wants to help another. My approach may not be your desired approach, but the suggestion was in the good of intentions. There's a lot of bad people in this world, and I wish we could live in a peaceful environment. Unfortunately, there will be others that feel they're above the law or other people. I pray that one day they will understand that not everyone will have the same faith and or convictions, even have differences of opinions. The hope is the faith that mankind can do what is right and not deliberately hurt one another. We don't know what is going on in everyone's personal life. We don't know of their personal struggles. We don't know how they feel inside or what exactly they have endured by experience or hardship. It's not our place to judge. But what we can do is prevent more pain to others that isn't justified as a whole, being the problem that contributes to more pain to even cause significant duress, emotional distress, flashbacks of PTSD, or succumb to saying, what the F, who cares? I'm too tired to give a any more. I've had enough. It means the person has had its limits. Some may find that funny, which shows you their character. Remember, you have no clue the power of your influence to others or create the cause of effect of another's future and choices. Are you really wanting to be the co-contributor that takes full responsibility, or the coward that deliberately and knowingly has an opportunity to resolve matters as an adult but stands behind a camera acting like a tough person or persons? If you have children, take a moment to think about them for a bit. Try really hard, as it may seem, to see if you could put yourself in another's shoes. Have you walked their walk at all, let alone anyone else's walk? There is a fine line difference between real journalism and BS. There is also a difference with good, funny entertainment compared to the insults and attacks people do, masking it under entertainment. People will not listen and will most likely ignore to read and understand this message. Are you willing to risk your life and everything you have to hurt another? Or are you going to be the person that would do the right thing? Are you willing to take the responsibility and accountability when someone gets hurt as a result of your actions and words? I pray for those that find this entertaining, even more so because I know they lack empathy and maturity. I've decided, as I should have done months ago, leave the craziness of social media. I have a real life to live, and the people I have come across, some I've enjoyed and some aren't worth my air I breathe. I've gotten so many better things to do with my time and life. It's not here. It's too toxic and unsafe environment. To endanger the lives of people or knowing their story or reasons is crossing the line. I've made notes of all who I believe, with sufficient evidence of those that are involved with serious cyberbullying. The authorities will have all the information. I'm not playing, and this isn't a game. If you are willing, with malicious or careless intent, to put my life in danger, I promise you will pay the consequences to no end legally. Do not stalk or run illegal background checks or cyberbully, threatened to be blackmailed or commit cyber crimes against me, harass me or anyone related. You have been warned to leave me alone publicly. I'm no coward by any means, trust me, but someone has to be the adult here, and I will do the right thing. I will no longer be going live again or commenting on my page. There should be no reason to discuss my name or mention me anymore. Goodbye, YouTube. No comments. It looks like that is it. Game over. What's been going on in the background? Who knows? I've been covering the Dylan Rounds case for most part of it. All kinds of messy stuff can happen in the background. Does this have any link or correlation to Jim Terry, Bob Farrell, Gorilla Jack, any other people in the background, salty pancakes? Who knows at this rate? Wouldn't surprise me. But I just guess it's one of those things. The bit where the shack lady says my name should be not mentioned again, that seems like one is downplaying their own influence in the Dylan Rounds case, though. Isn't it good to be quoted, to be acknowledged, to be recognised in some way or another? Good or bad. You know, if you're talking about information, findings, talks, material, and it's come from somebody else, there's no harm in crediting their name at least, right? But, you know, it appears here that the shack lady wants nothing to do with that, wants nothing to do with the Dylan Rounds case, wants nothing to do with YouTube or the communities around, which, because, you know, being on the receiving end, I guess, of the resistance at points and times. Did one make themselves a target here and there? Maybe. At least from my experience, at least from what I know of, the shack lady never did anything bad towards me, never caused me any trouble, so I appreciate that. Was there a point in time where the shack lady may have been under shackles, locked down by the oppression of somebody else? Possibly, you never know. I mean, we all talk about, it's like a high school scenario, or we talk about like, oh, where's all the adults at? And yet all the adults are the ones that are behaving significantly of a younger age, but not for the right reasons. Yeah, it becomes a bit of a free-for-all, right? No holds barred at times, but the way certain people have power over others on a digital platform seems a little bit pathetic at times. Like, you know, you should be able to think for yourself and do what needs to be done. That's why I thought, was there a correlation at times where it comes to certain people following a channel because they've had domestic issues in the past with people in real life, which then led to them being vulnerable towards those online under a certain channel, and that's why they said yes master, yes man, yes woman, and just go along with it and be controlled like zombies. I think there is a correlation there with some people out there. But who knows, it could run deeper. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you in general. It's quite a long post, but you know, if it's going to be your last, you get, or try to get everything off your chest, I assume. Will the shack lady return in the future? Who knows? I mean, is this like a salty pancake situation, a Ty Corbyn situation, where it's, oh, walking away, I'm not going to be covering that anymore. No, I've got better things to be doing. And the next thing you know, next day, oh, we're back again. I think it might be a bit different with the shack lady. Because in the past, when she was doing her live streams, quite full on and long too, it only lasted for a certain length of time, right? Then she stopped doing live streams. When things got messy, when drama kicked on in, certain live streams were removed, privatized, edited out, etc. Fast forward on, then it started slowing down, shorter length live streams, and then maybe after more drama, then it ceased, came to a complete stop. And ever since, there's not been any more. So I think it probably is end of the line when it comes to Shack Lady. As I said, I only came across the Shack Lady when it came to the Dylan Rounds case. For most part of it, most of these characters all over the place I've only come across because of the Dylan Rounds case and community, right? Before that, I was covering the Kenny Veach M Cave mystery, keeping to myself, do my own thing, right? So you can be opened up to a range and variety of people depending on what community you go in and the timing. There's time and place for everything, right? Sometimes it goes well, other times it doesn't. But with that all being said, I guess let's just see what Bob Farrell has said recently. Well, here we are, Bob Farrell. 1 day ago this was posted, and the Shack Lady's post was 1 day ago as well, so maybe this does tie all in line. I'll just read it anyway, it's not too long. So Bob says, I've just heard the Shack Lady's BS on Warlike Wrath. What a piece of shitbag you turned out to be. You and Salty Cakes make a good team. You both are nuts. I sit here and think of the stuff you told me about the case and how you were going to have the case settled before the cops do. Detective Shack Shitbag calling the FBI guy, Jeff, 10 times a week with good information. As she said to me, she know just the right questions to ask Kurt and at the right time. Yeah, okay, whatever. And how did that work out for you? Is the case over? You've been quiet for the past 3 months. You should go away again for 3 months. It was nice not hearing your crap about Kurt and how, got this, you're a dreamer. Right, so Bob Farrell there calling out the Shack Lady for the BS and the involvement in the Dylan Rounds case. I guess Bob Farrell thinks that Shack Lady's information and coverage on the case was really a waste of time and didn't really work out, and it was just pointless from reading the tone of text here. As for the Shack Lady's BS on Warlike Wrath, I guess that's in reference to Bob Farrell watching one of my previous videos where I looked at that other paragraph where Shack Lady was calling someone out for being bold, fat, and having diabetes. And I think that was labelling Bob Farrell at the time. So I think that's why Bob Farrell has responded here in response to the Shack Lady. But as said, for Bob Farrell to not associate himself with other people out there and those that may tag him about this stuff to spread awareness, and yet Bob Farrell here is watching my videos in the background, so it just seems a bit all over the place. As for comments, yes, please have a show tonight. Yeah, that's sad. Turned out to be such a liar. Good riddance. So Grandma G, Grandma G, saying that Shack Lady was such a liar. You see how everything's imploded on itself as time's gone on. I might even do an independent video about this, like what I was talking about last night when it comes to lower levels and volumes of people covering a case at a time. It's for the best, because when you've got so many people covering it, this is the result what you get. It falls through on itself, it becomes a waste of time, and everything that happened back then was for nothing. And then it's just all arguments, disagreements, and just falling out. Anyone else? Louise Haraway, attention seekers, Bob. They are nutcases. Charlena, who is WLR? Is that what Bob Farrell said in the comments? I wonder. Must have misread that at the time. Must have been a spelling mistake. Well, WLR, I don't know what that is, but if it was WLW, that would be Warlike Wrath, which is me. We've got Linda Cushing commenting on Bob Farrell's channel with the laughing emojis. Probably, I guess, in agreement with what Bob's saying, maybe, that Shack Lady has been a bit of a disaster. Gorgeous, also known as Stoney. Bob is funny, and Jim and Mark are angels. They are way dirtier. than the two mentioned, but you seem to have serious brain block. Maybe some eye juice went into your brain, contaminating it. I think one thing I can conclude with in general, and I'm sure maybe Badger in the background will agree, is that there'll be times where you'll get a supposed nutcase calling out someone else for being a supposed nutcase, and vice versa. That you'll get people out there that will say, whether it be on my channel or elsewhere, I think I'm going to take a step back. I'm sick of all this drama. I'm sick of your chat war like Raph. I'm going to step back and move elsewhere. And where do they go? They go to a channel which is all about drama and conflict and a breeding ground and epicenter of it all. So it's really back and forth, truly a revolving door, right? That is why when I operate upon myself, when it comes to these like cases and stuff, that I just keep my head down and stick to myself, right? When I'm doing my thing, when I'm doing my coverage, you never start opening up to all these other people, and et cetera, and make the same mistakes as everybody else out there. Everything implodes upon itself, right? That's probably why my predictions, my foreshadowings and all that, that's why I'm here and other humans have fallen down or spread out with time. You know, still to this day, at least for the time spent covering the Dylan Rounds case, the most control compared to anybody else out there, because the majority of humans out there that involved themselves within the case either contradicted themselves, turned into a hypocrite, two-faced, no backbone, switching and changing, jumping lanes and jumping the ship when it suits then, and then other times when it doesn't, then they'll change. Other people having meltdowns, breakdowns, hyperventilating, exaggerating, BSing. A lot going on with a lot of different people, right? Both creators and viewers. It could be anyone. It could apply, right? But here we are, still under control, still able to produce videos, still able to cover some key additional cases out there, like with Christine Parker, in a good format and a good structure and it under control. So there we go there. Not much else to cover here. Is that it on the Shack Lady? What else was there? Oh, what's this? Well, we'll just cover it whilst we're here. I guess there's no harm, right? As said, this is all publicly viewable. If it does touch a nerve within some humans out there where certain comments are read out, it's, well, first of all, tough shit. Second of all, it's all public. And thirdly, I wonder why it would touch a nerve in the first place. I wonder. Anyway, what does Bob say here? Bob says, well, the shit keeps on going. Glad to hear that Salty Pancake's new channel is gone from YouTube. Again, everyone loves to talk about what I should do and not do. Well, it's one thing, folks. I do what I want to do. No one is going to tell me what to do with my channel. And no, it won't fit up my ass. Thank you anyways. Interesting. And people want to know why I haven't been on. When I feel I am up to it, I'm still having some issues with my right eye. If you want to run a channel, folks, then start one. Leave my channel to me to run and do what I want to do. If I don't do a membership like Jim and X wants me to do, they said they will not come over anymore to my channel. Wait, hold on, what was that? Bob says, if I don't do a membership program on my channel, so a paywall, like Jim and X wants me to do, they said they will not come over anymore to my channel. They have done very, very well with their sites. They're both good at what they do. I'm just a normal person, I think, and I like to do things my way. If my channel does get taken down, my life will go on either way. The haters will always hate me and the rest of you all will always like me. The rounds will still hate me and that's life. I really don't give a rat's ass who likes me or doesn't. I speak how I feel and say what I see, so stick this up your ass. Shack Lady, talk about a two-faced bitch, liar and hater. Wild Irish Rose, you and your trooper husband stop your emails. I don't give a damn what either one of you have to say to me. Tell the rounds anything you want to. There's a million other folks out here on your YouTube who feel the same way I do about both of them. Justin and Candice, and that horrible, horrible Paramount video. Right, so it seems like Bob Farrell can't stand the Shack Lady. Bob Farrell calling the Shack Lady a biatch. Calling out Wild Rose. Calling out Candice Cooley and Justin Rounds. Right, so there's a lot going on there. I mean, I made the prediction that Bob Farrell would bounce back, right? The whole talk about, well, maybe I should step away, maybe I should quit forever. I mean, that's what they all say, don't they? And then they come back, eventually. They might adapt, change things up, kind of like what's mentioned here, and things go on from there. The concept of Bob Farrell having membership only, what does that actually mean? I mean, you probably can restrict it to a subscriber-only, members-only live chat, but everyone can still watch the videos though. The only time when you can produce member-only videos is when you create a video and upload it in standard format. You can't do a live members-only video. I tried a live premiere once in the format of a members-only video, but the moment you select it from members-only to live premiere, it goes public and then everybody can watch it. I already ran that test back then, so I do have a good idea, okay? It's the same with Mob Crew Chris, who's got members only on his channel. He had a live stream or live video, VIP access for the search of Dylan Rounds before winter time of 2022. I saw a portion of it. I wasn't a member. Next day, looked back at the video, couldn't watch it because you had to be a member. So how was I able to watch it the day before? Because it was a live stream. And live streams are public. No way around it. I said, the chat box can always be limited. Now maybe that's the one factor there. Comment is missing. Crystal Ann. Never heard this person before. Bob, let Snooks know if she wants to reach out to me. Oh, whatever that is. That's irrelevant. Okay. And final one. 34 minutes ago. Well, I try. I keep getting called names and I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube, but it's my channel. If you don't like what I do, please stay away. If you see Jim, Terry or Mr. X on my panel, keep your thoughts to yourself and go on their shows and tell them how you feel. Amen, says Snooks. Okay. Does Snook have a cowboy hat on in the background? Interesting. Where's the horse at? I wonder. So there are the responses from Bob. Sounds a little bit chaotic at this moment in time, and there's still a bit of bad blood in the background with the Shack Lady. A range of different things are going on. I'll just share with you a few of my additional thoughts right now. So if you want to call it conflicts, war zones, drama, friction, grudges, whatever you want to call it, it seems long term. Originated from the Dylan Rounds case and community, true crime community, and ever since has, stretched out, spread out of the community. Still portions remaining, remnants, but as people do move on or channels collapse and people fall down, things implode, people change allegiances over time, even though they don't like the word allegiances, but that's what they're actually doing. People get a bit bitchy there, touches the nerve once again. At the end of the day, it goes elsewhere and it follows like a circus. Okay, that's what it basically is. It's like a convoy of vehicles following one another. So yeah, I'd say it's probably long term until someone dies or somebody ends up moving away from a platform, really one or the other. That's just being realistic, okay? Straight to the point. As for the Salty Pancakes channel that was mentioned by Bob saying it's been shut down, well, I typed it in on YouTube and it doesn't seem to show up, so I guess it's been shut down. As a heads up, if anyone's interested, regarding the fake impersonation Warlike Wrath backup account, you remember that one, the fake account of me? The one Salty Pancakes was behind. despite Pancake's hardline supporters and fellow recent supporters denying it like delusional prats still to this day, well, basically that channel has been eradicated, all under control. There you go. So, with the cancer passing by, I've not been infected because it's under control. Is there anything else to have a look at? Well, I guess it's about time now we take a look at one of the most idiotic humans I have come across in a while, okay? So recently I've been told off by a cat channel. You heard that? An actual kitty cat channel on YouTube has told me off, has given me stern advice regarding YouTube and how one maintains relevant and grows their channel. So it looks like the kitty cat gods, the kitty cat slayer, whatever you want to call it, the cat flap has opened, the light has shone on through, and now I have to look up and answer to that call. Okay, well, let's go on to the comments and see what this is all about. Well, here we are back in the comment section. This is on my video from like 1 to 2 days ago, if you want to refer back to it. But here's the comment on screen in the middle, 22 hours ago, and it was edited, and it's by Cat Life 24/7. Well, we'll take a look at Cat Life's channel shortly, but just see what they've got to say first of all. So Cat Life says, Wallite Wrath, you should have 2 channels. Most people that care about missing people are not wasting their lives playing video games, and there's only one way to say Idaho. Said it correct that time, didn't I? What country are you in? Not America, because you don't pronounce anything right. Like your channel, but come on, man. Right, so first and foremost, this person is from the US. And what they seem to associate is that any human out there that cares about missing people don't play video games or are interested in them. Well, the last time I heard, there was numerous people within my chat here and there that have followed missing people cases and true crime stuff, and they play video games in the background, kind of like Inky Unplugged, right? And then there'll be a few others here and there. So it's a bit of a weird link what you've tried applying, which is pretty invalid, right? I mean, you could say, if you want to follow that level of idiocracy, Cat Life, you could say that people that are interested in missing people cases aren't going to be wasting their lives sat down, benched, hunched over, reading a book like a sado. Oh, that's going to trigger some people, isn't it? This is what I mean. It's give and take. Pick and choose what's acceptable and what isn't. Oh, it's pathetic. It's a waste of time. It's unhealthy. It's really bad. If you play video games, you get demonetized for it. Oh, it's perfectly fine to be crippled from doing a painting or a drawing and sitting there like a statue for 24 hours. Come on, get a grip. People do their own different activities here and there. There are humans out there that make a living off gaming and tournaments and streaming there. You see it out there, don't you, on different platforms. I mean, it does come to that reality where you get people out there that will play games for enjoyment and fun and maybe to grow in some way. And then you get the other ones that are more developed and established. And what's the difference in terms of how they're treated by other people out there? Well, obviously, the ones that are just doing it for fun and passing time, etc., will be called out for it. And then the ones that make a living off of it and make lots of money through the streaming, the contracts, the tournaments, people are going to flock over them and say, oh, how much money do you earn? Oh, wow, is that so? I'm going to be really nice to you because, you're very successful. Yeah. I've heard that all before. Here we go. Anyway, is there anything else to acknowledge here, though? And there's only one way to say Idaho, and I say Idaho. But this is the thing, Cat Life, when it comes to Americans, you say tomato, but it's actually tomato, okay? And there's the other lines, you say data, we say data. There'll be more lines here and there, it's just one of those American things. And for the most part of it, the Americans that I've come across have been okay, but I guess this is the exception of a bit of a problematic person, okay? Anyway, let's see what the response were at the time. Mine was, firstly, my channel started out as a gaming channel. It did since 2013. Secondly, on average, I do get more views on my short videos about gaming than I do about missing people videos. What does that say, right? And thirdly, who are you? Because I've not really come across this person before, what I can remember. Cat Life responds, I'm not somebody to be messed with. Ooh, I'm scared. Just somebody giving you something your little young brain can't handle. Honest feedback. Everything I said were facts. Bruh. Grow up, homie. Right, you're starting to sound like you come from the hood or something, or more so from the dog impound, because, you know, some of that wording is very rough. Right, so you're saying everything that you said is true. So you're saying that it's true, it's a fact that most people who focus on missing people cases don't play video games. So it doesn't exist where people can enjoy two different things. You can only enjoy one over the other. Right, and that it doesn't exist where humans can actually multitask. That doesn't exist either. So that's what Cat Life is stating here. Interesting. Cat Life is also saying that one's brain, well, like Rat's brain, can't handle it. I mean, my IQ went from 99 to about 116. What's your IQ? And lastly, it says, and hello. Everybody gets more views on shorts. Facts are mixing niches on a channel isn't smart. Just start another like everybody else. Learn to pronounce things because it sounds unprofessional. Fall in line. We've all been there. Right, so this person is appearing as a know-it-all, which is very typical. Demanding that I follow their advice. Obviously, because they're a very successful individual, right, on YouTube. They've been through it all. They've experienced it. They've hit the highs and hit the lows. And they're giving me valuable advice and information on how I as a channel can grow. Because my brain is very small. My channel is amateur level. And I have no clue what I'm doing. Well, I guess my channel, despite having about 8.2k subscribers and 3.8 million almost views on my channel, that's nothing, right? No. I'm sure Cat Life is a lot more established as a channel, right, from what they've said here. Even the fact that they technically threatened me by saying I'm not somebody to be messed with, well, you're definitely showing yourself up there, you incompetent prat. But nevertheless, you must be on a higher level, right? A 4D density and vibration wavelength in frequencies, in tune with nature and reality and how to grow online. Well, let's see if that's put to the test with the channel. Joined 16 years ago. So this person has been around for quite some time. So obviously they're going to know how things work, right? 16 years, been on YouTube much longer than I have. Okay. How many subscribers do you have? 941. Oh. Is that it? 941. Well, what about the views? What about in general their views? We'll just get rid of that down there. What about the about section? 226,000 views. Oh. Joined 2007. So from 2007 up to 2023, you've only managed to get 226,000 views. What have you been doing? How pathetic. What's the about section? Welcome to Cat Life, a channel like no other, where your views and subscriptions will help build the largest cat sanctuary on Earth. Together we will save many lives. whilst making people feel good, saving animals in need and supporting caretakers in ways never seen before or attempted. Join us on our journey building the most epic rescue facility ever. Hundreds of cat caretakers will live and work together with thousands of cats to give them the second chance they deserve. We will be focusing on the rehabilitating and rescuing hopeless feral cats from a dangerous life on the streets or from being put into shelters because they're not friendly, and very few shelters have the time or passion to tame them. Together we'll be the change we wish to be in the world. Thank you for caring. All videos are made by us or submitted to us by friends and cat people. Have a video you like to submit. Right, okay. Well, clearly, your community is a pretty dead-end one, at least from the YouTube perspective. The fact that you welcome friends and other people to provide you videos and provide you content, but you can't even pull it out your own arse, you got to rely on other people. Why should I be taking advice from you, right? I mean, how many channels do you have? At least from what's present on here, the channel section, no additional ones. Every day is cat day where we come from. Does that sound? So it's all about cats, and yet this person's quite problematic. Okay. Short videos. Everybody gets lots of views on short videos. Okay, then how many views have you got on the most popular video? About 7k views, 6.5k. I mean, at least from my reality, I've got about 66,000 views on one video and about 47,000 on the other. Significantly more than what you've got, to be fair, right? Yeah, lacking. How many videos have you actually uploaded, though, as a channel? Can we see that? Will it show? So from 2007 to 2023, 247 videos produced on your channel. How many videos have I uploaded? Over 1,200, if not more. But then again, I guess that's what separates, you know, humans from mortals and lesser subhumans, maybe. Well, I mean, I looked at the odd video in terms of the quality. It's so-so. The mic quality lacking. I mean, your last video was posted, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 5 months ago. Not exactly doing well, is it? I mean, your thumbnails are way too cluttered. They don't really catch one's attention too well. Short videos just seem like the same old generic reposted crap what you see on TikTok and elsewhere. Not much organisation going on. Pretty disappointing, right? Yeah, and they're from the US as well. So basically, the short story is an individual out there claiming that they're not the type of person to be messed around with, coming off as threatening behaviour from a cat lover. Yeah, that really ties in well together, doesn't it? I think I need to take the cats away from you if you're going to be treating them badly. If you've got a bit of aggression problems going on there, who knows what else is going on in the background. But yeah, this dead-end pathetic excuse of a channel called Cat Life 24/7 has started since 2007, only producing 247 videos, only has 941 subscribers over like 16-year period. And this is where they're at. And they're giving me advice. Oh, have you ever thought of becoming a comedian? Because you're a complete joke. And last but not least, somewhere else when it comes to Walleye Raft being called out, we've got a person called Catfish here with, what is that, an Alex Easterling profile picture. Is that the case? Was that during the sketchy AF trend or something? So Catfish responds back to Miss T's post about Walleye Raft. Catfish says, Walleye Raft, he's weird. My response, you're a default profile. Catfish's response, sorry, no, I am not. See, this is the thing. A default profile, a default channel, a default presence. Is there any content? No. Any material? No. Any contribution whatsoever to the Dylan Rounds case as for YouTube area? Not at all. Bit of a waste of space, to be honest. We just double check, double down on that. What's that? Catfish. I mean, to have that username in the first place, Catfish, although it's spelt with a K instead of a C, It's not exactly promising to begin with, because you know what catfishing is all about. 2 subscribers, no videos. Well, isn't that disappointing? Nothing in the playlist, nothing in the channels. Joined in 2022. So, are they a salty pancakes, potato picker, delusional yes man, yes woman? Or are they a part of the undead zombie horde of slaves elsewhere? Or are they a Candice Cooley hardliner? I wonder. At the end of the day, they're just simply showing resistance. They're just coming to fast judgment calls based off a certain portion or a clip of a video by me when they've not seen the full context behind it, but that's typical of humans and what they do. That certain type of personality behavioural traits probably link and apply to a certain community out there as well. So once again, we've come full circle. We've done a quick analysis on the spot. The 0.5 second rule rings again. Typical human behaviour. So I think all in all, that pretty much concludes it all up. Make sure to leave your comments down below and questions if you have any. If you also have any whingy, whiny grievances, or does anybody lurking in the background with grievances, feel free to list them down below. Why not? You want to check out previous videos? They're available, links down below too. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, you learned something new, bit more awareness in general, and yeah, see you next time. For now, goodbye and good night.